It's not the hardest mountain in the world, is it, Snowdon? It's got a little railway line going to the top, but it's got to be good if so many people actually want to be climbing.
Well, it's a lovely mountain, actually. I mean, it's a magnificent-looking mountain from a distance. It's one that I hold very dearly because that's where I started my climbing 60 years ago. And, of course, it was much less crowded then, but even 60 years ago, there was a little cafe on top of Snowdon, and, of course, the railway's been there since, the beginning of the last century.
Mm. And, I mean, it's not just Snowdon, though, where obviously you have walkers clambering up to the top, but, I mean, on serious mountains that only very good mountaineers would attempt, it is becoming an issue, isn't it?
I think in this country, I think it's wonderful that so many people are getting out there, and there's so many people wanting to go up Snowdon that particular day. But, you don't have to join the queue. You don't have to join the crowds, whether you're in Snowdonia or the Lake District. Go to some of the more obscure hills, and you won't see a soul all day, even on a bank holiday. So it's really people's choice. And if people want to troop up Snowdon, that's great. But the difference, perhaps, is where you get Mount Everest. And I know there's a picture I've seen, I think it was in the Telegraph, of this line of people going up the route up Snowdon, which really did remind me of a picture I saw of a line of people going up to the South Col of Everest last year. The difference, though, on Everest, where you have up to 100 people going for the summit in a day, and where there are, once again, queues and people waiting for 2.5 hours to get up the Hillary step, there's a real element of risk as well, because you could be caught by a storm and people die. Up on Snowdon, well, there isn't. It's just a big crowd, and they're having a wonderful time, and, good luck to them.
What would you recommend for people who want to, the people in the kind of Snowdon realm rather than the Everest realm? What would you recommend if you wanted something a little bit quieter where you're going to be away from the crowd? What's a good peak within the UK, say, or the British Isles?
Well, whether you're in Snowdonia, there are lots of lovely mountains in the Carneddau, in the Gliders, which are slightly less popular and where you won't see a soul all day. And it's a matter, really, of looking at your map and saying, well, yeah, I'll go there. And there's any number of kind of guidebooks anywhere, walking guidebooks, so that, you can always find some beautiful walks where there won't be many people. But if you want to climb Snowdon and you enjoy the crowd, go for that as well. There's nothing wrong with it.
I thought you were going to say Cairngorm, Chris. Oh, you didn't hear me.
Pardon?
I thought you were going to say, it's Jim here, I thought you were going to say Cairngorm. Anyway, never mind.
Cairngorm's less crowded, actually.